Today, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be telling you the best method, so then that's where you can go ahead and farm the brand new winter raid event at maximum efficiency. For example, when it comes to farming and getting, for example, the brand new mythical swords, just like so, or maybe you want the brand new relic, which gives you a ton of shadow level increases. But just before we jump into that, just gonna quickly say, if you do end up enjoying it and want to see more, then make sure to hit that like and subscribe button with notifications on. And yeah, without further ado, let's jump right into this. Alright, so first things first, let's start off with the absolute basics. So how exactly does one get, for example, the brand new sword and the new relics and whatnot? Well, pretty much in order to get these relics, you guys know the winter raid event, right? The one that spawns in between the Bleach Island and as well the Jojo Island. Well, yeah, in the middle over here where everyone is AFKing, basically two bosses are going to be spawning. One called the Laruda, which I'm going to go ahead and showcase in the index. This bad boy right over here. And then as well, there is also the Snow Monarch. Now, what is so important about these is that a lot of people actually confuse how exactly you spawn them. So let me quickly explain. So starting off over here at the mini boss, and the reason that I call this a mini boss is because it's a boss that no one really cares about. The metal boss over here. Basically how it spawns is that it will always spawn. I guarantee the moment the winter raid starts, it is going to be right over here. And then in order to take him out, you just farm normally, swing your sword at him and whatnot. And then basically you can get two types of rewards. The unit, which could be ranging from SS rank all the way up to G rank, or as well there is also the relic. Now the relic is going to be found, I believe it is this one over here. So the Frostbound Core, pretty much what it upgrades is that it is going to be increasing your shadow damage and as well your weapons damage. Now I'm sure you guys are probably wondering, okay, this relic sounds pretty decent, like why is no one grinding it? And well, the simple answer to that is that these are the only two rewards that you could potentially get, because if you were to go ahead and farm, where everyone else is farming, you are going to be getting yourself a bunch more rewards. For example, the mythical sword, which by the way, in case you guys didn't already know, it is the best weapon in the game. Then of course we have the relic over here, which is going to be increasing your shadow level, which just letting you know the difference. Before these G rank snows, I believe they were like level 310 and they used to do like 40 quadrillion damage. Well, yeah, now it's doing 10 times that amount. And oh yeah, as a matter of fact, did you guys know that these snows are actually one of the best units in the game? Hence why it is so much better worth grinding over here where everyone else is grinding. So yeah, I think you guys can kind of get the point of what I'm trying to say. Basically, it's just so much more worth it to grind it here. So if you are AFK grinding, then this is the spot you want to be. Now, enough of all of that, right? I think it's time to explain now the little tips and tricks and information that some people don't know. For example, did you guys know that the main boss over here, the Snow Monarch one, if I just quickly go ahead and show him, he looks like this. Well, yeah, it turns out that apparently the only way that he will spawn is that you need to complete the winter raid in under 8 minutes. Now, what exactly does that mean? Well, it means that unless you beat the boss within the span of 8 minutes, there is no point server hopping. Server hopping is going to be doing absolutely nothing. The most you will get though is the Larudas, which is, the first boss that pops up. And I mean, having a look at the stats, it isn't that much worse. So in terms of units, I mean, you could technically just grind for the Larudas if you're really unlucky with these snows. And just to point out, by the way, the weapon, the mythical weapon, the one that was just added in the recent update, well, yeah, this is actually dropped from the Larudas, okay? Not the Snow Monarch. The Snow Monarch only drops the relic over here. This one, the Crown of Snow, increasing your shadow level. So please keep that in mind. Laruda is for swords and as well the Laruda unit, whilst the Monarch is going to be for the G rank Monarch, the one I've already showcased, or even the N rank Monarch, since yes, this snow unit can actually be N rank, but there is like a really low chance to get it. And then as well, the last thing that you can get is going to be the shadow level. Now let's just quickly summarize what exactly we've learned. We've learned that basically the most important stuff, like the sword, because that's technically what most people are grinding right now, can be only gotten from the Laruda boss, meaning that if you're only focusing on the mythical sword, you can just take this Laruda boss out and then you could technically server hop if you really wanted to. However, if you're like me and you really want to get your first N rank unit, then just go ahead, AFK here with everyone else. You should be nice and good. Plus as well, just to point out, make sure you're grinding in a public server, because these bosses, they are super tanky. Like, even if you were to get the mythical sword, you know, the brand new one, SS rank with the best enchantments, this boss would still take a solid minute or two. So yeah, for those reasons, make sure you're in a public server with a bunch of strong people. Preferably try getting in a server like this where everyone is N rank plus. Then from there, just put on your auto clicker. For example, this is what it looks like when mine is activated, and you can chill, relax, grab a snack maybe if you really want to, and you should be good. However, does that mean that there is all to say? No, there's still more. So when you guys are done with this boss, right, and let's say you right now you are focusing on getting the Laruda daggers, you don't care about the N rank monarch and whatnot, you only want the sword. Well, once you are done with this lobby, right, just like so, what you want to do is you want to leave the server, and then you want to head on over here to the Arise crossover game. You want to scroll down, head on over to servers. Then from there, you see this little button over here, the one where you can change from descending to ascending. Well, yeah, you want to do that, and you want to try and get in a server with around, you don't want 1 or 2 people, because if it's 1 or 2 people, you might as well go on a private server. However, sometimes if you are really lucky and you join an empty server, for example, like the one I just joined, you will realize there's actually a lot of people are doing this exact same method, meaning that the servers that look like they're empty, well, they're only empty for like a few solid seconds. So if I quickly do ascending and join on in, this server should technically fill up really fast. Yes, it is. You guys literally saw there were 2 people before, and now it's practically a full-on lobby. So yeah, then from there, all you really have to do is just head on over to the Monarch boss, which in this case, I think this server is completely done. So unfortunately, it seems like this was a dud. However, that doesn't mean you should give up, because keep in mind, if you keep on trying, you should theoretically eventually get into a good server with, you know, the boss still alive, and you'll be able to grind it. For example, in this case, here is a server with it alive. Awesome. And it seems like everyone is doing the exact same method of, you know, going to this boss. So eventually, as people fly over, we should be able to take this out really quick. But anyways, that's pretty much wraps up all the information that I do have to tell you guys about how to maximize your efficiency when it comes to grinding the winter raid. Now, of course, if more information comes out, whether it's going to be like, let's say they buff or something, I don't know. If more information comes out, I'll make a part 2 to this video. And also, if you do want to see more videos on this game, whether it is more guides, more streams, it's up to you guys. Feel free to let me know by hitting that like and subscribe button with notifications on. And actually, just before we end of this video, I do want to potentially, again, I'm not going to promise that this is actually real because I'm not sure if it is, but some of you guys have been sending me this screenshot over here. Now, again, I'm not sure if it's real, it probably is fake, but just in case if it is real, at least you can say that you did know about it. Apparently, you could get this relic over here, the Monarch Tears, which apparently will make all your arising thing guaranteed. Now, if this is real, I do gotta say that is absolutely ridiculous, but as I mentioned, it probably is fake. So don't get your hopes up, okay? Don't grind for it unless the devs themselves come out and specifically say, hey guys, we added this N+ rank relic, then pretend like it doesn't exist. But if it does turn out to be real, then at least you guys can say SMG notified you. But anyways, that pretty much wraps up everything that I have to say. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And for the time being, peace out everybody.